I'm a strong advocate for the idea that the world needs more introverted leaders, and I'm going to tell you why. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about the difference between introverted and extroverted people, because it's something that people tend to confound a lot. Well, first of all, the definition that most people have is that whereas an extroverted person gets energy from other people, an introverted person recharges his energy or her energy by being with him or herself, by being alone, by being able to simmer their thoughts. But there's something else that people usually don't know or they don't talk about, and it's simply a matter of stimuli in the environment. And I'll get deeper into this. So basically, an introvert absorbs more stimuli from the environment, be it in the form of light, so of seeing things, be it in the form of sounds, of the feeling of touch, of all of the tastes, of their sense of smell, of all of the senses. So an introvert absorbs more stimuli, and an introvert has a difficulty of processing all of that stimuli. So that's why you have this image of recharging when you are with yourself, because you have so much stimuli in a social environment. For instance, if you go to a party with a bunch of people and loud music, there's so much to process that you get drained. Whereas an extrovert person already has a more natural built-in filter to stimuli. So an extroverted person already has that filter, and they actually end up needing more information or more stimuli, and that's why they like places that are louder. They like to have more people around because they crave more stimulation. So nature is very smart. Nature has a profound wisdom, a godly wisdom, if you will. And of course, it's no mistake that there are different types of people, because we need different types of people in different groups to do things, to do different things. And for the group to thrive, we need the people that will be able to sit for hours on end crafting the weapons to go hunting or to go to war, for instance. And we will also need the people that need more stimulation and that they crave going out to the forest to go on the hunt or go to war with our enemies or whatever it is. So we need these two kinds of people. However, in the last 70 years or so, probably since the dawn of television, but with the internet, it kind of got out of hand. We have this image in our heads that a great leader is someone that's very outgoing, very vocal, someone that speaks to the crowds and makes the crowd rattled. And maybe in politics we will never get over that, because politics is nothing more than a popularity contest and perhaps a feeder as well. But in business or in smaller groups in our lives, in smaller groups such as sports teams, such as families, I make the case that we need more introverted leaders, because we already know the advantages of an extroverted leader. So an extroverted leader is very vocal, they're good with words, they're good with speaking and getting a message across. Whereas the introverted leader usually is better with actions. So he will be the guy that will be the first one in the office and the last one to get out. Or in a sports team, the first one on the pitch practicing alone before everyone gets there, and then they'll go to practice with everyone, and then they'll stay in the gym for hours on end after the practice, or in a bathtub full of ice to recover. You know, the Kobe's of the world, the Messis of the world. Of course, we have great examples of work ethic from extroverted leaders as well, but you already know those guys. You already know the Cristiano Ronaldos of the world. Then we have another thing, that the extroverted leader tends to speak first, which has to do with their ability with words, with conveying emotion, with conveying their message. But the introverted leader listens first. So the introverted leader is able to listen to things or to perceive things that the extrovert might not perceive. So, for instance, let's talk a little bit about an example that I found was really interesting from Messi in the Argentine national team. So there's this player, Alexis Mac Allister, and his father is Scottish. So Alexis is a redhead. And when he got into the Argentine squad for the first time, the other players gave him some kind of nickname like Red or Fire, something like that, because of his hair. And Messi noticed that he didn't like it. And he didn't really talk about it, but Messi noticed it. So he went to Alexis and he asked him, "Hey man, you don't like being called Red, right?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't." So the next time that they gathered on the dressing room, Messi went to the group and said, "Hey guys, we're not calling him Red anymore." And Messi, he's not the most vocal leader, but everyone respects him because everyone knows of his work ethic, even though that's not something that most people talk about. Everyone knows that he gets results, and that's an important thing about introverted leaders as well. They tend to focus on the results more than they focus on basically they focus on the results. So the introvert leader can see things that an extrovert leader might not perceive, because you don't need that much information in the first place. So with a little bit of information you can perceive things. Also, another advantage, at times, bear in mind, you have this yin yang double-edged sword kind of thing. So an extroverted leader might be more energetic, but at times that energy might be a double-edged sword. So if the extroverted leader gets angry, they might rash out, or they might blur it out, and they might offend people, and they might hit the table even when it's a situation that it's uncalled for. Whereas an introverted leader will have a calmer demeanor. They might convey that they're angry with just the look on their face, or with just a couple words. Think about Michael Corleone in The Godfather. Michael is said to be an INTJ, so the archetypical mastermind, archetypical villain in any fictional thing. And Michael, he's a very observant type of leader. He's always a calm speaker. He's tranquil. He's calm. he can tell you that he's going to kill you and all your family with that calm tone of voice. And of course, there are times in which he rashes out. And this is a funny thing about this INTJ thing. He rashes out typically when he's talking to his loved ones, because he has a problem dealing with emotion. And I shouldn't even be getting too much into Michael Corleone, and this is not where we want to go in this video. But yeah, in a nutshell, he's very good with rationality, but not so much with emotions. That's why he ends up lashing out with his wife and his sister and his brother. But back to the introvert versus extrovert and why we need more introverts in leadership. Well, we live in a world that's very extroverted or very image heavy, at least in our minds. But actually, the division is not that clear between introverts and extroverts. We do kind of have a bell curve of introverts and extroverts, and a lot of people in the middle that are actually ambiverts. And there is a strong case that actually everyone is an ambivert. It just varies how much to which side you are. So if you have only people that are strongly extroverted as leaders, you will miss out on the insight from the introverts and how they can lead people who are more introverted or who have more introverted tendencies. There's no wonder why in places such as tech companies, places that hire a lot of introverted people, or people who are more naturally introverted, people who have the archetypical nerd vibe, you see a lot of people lashing out on Reddit or on X or on other places that introverts tend to congregate, and saying things like, dude, HR makes us do those get-togethers and they make all of those events, and I just want to get to work. I hate those meetings, those pointless meetings. And introverted leaders, they understand this better, and they're more about getting to the point of things, of getting to work. And sometimes extroverted leaders don't understand that. And in a knowledge-based economy as we live in, we actually need a bit more of that insight that only an introvert can give. But of course, we're not only in a knowledge economy anymore, we are also in an attention economy. So even if you are introverted, you need to learn how not only to capture attention, but how to be able and be not only confident, but to be comfortable with exposing yourself a little more, with appearing on camera, with writing on the internet, with speaking on stage when you need to, because that's what people want to, that's what people crave when they think of a leader. And also nowadays, for any situation in which you want to get results, if you want to be a business person, a businessman, a businesswoman, if you want to be, there are many doctors now that are strong on Instagram or TikTok, or lawyers. I haven't seen that much from engineers, but probably there are some, because we have these tools and we're using them right now. You're watching me through your cell phone probably, or through your computer. And like many of you, I never imagined that I'd get my cell phone on a freaking balcony and press play and start speaking for 15 minutes on end with little to no in terms of preparation. So this is everything that I had noted down before I started talking, and I pretty much improvised, and I'd read from now to then and take a look at some of the things, but this is pretty much all improvised. So, and I am also naturally introverted. I love being alone and having the time for my thoughts, but we can't have this luxury right now. If we want to get results, we need to speak out. We need to appear on camera. We need to go and talk to other people. We need to go and DM people and cold DM and expose ourselves, and that's the thing that I'm still getting to do better, you know. That's the thing that I used to struggle with this a lot more in the past. If you went back 6 months from now, if you went back 1 year from now, if you went back 3 years from now, it was much more of a struggle. I had much less bandwidth to deal with a lot of people than I do today. But that's the thing. Like it said on my previous video as well, it's about practice, practice, practice. And if you are an introvert that wants to improve with your leadership, wants to improve with getting out of your shell, send me a comment, send me a DM, let's talk about it, and I can definitely help you, because I didn't think that I could talk on camera improvising for 17 minutes before, and you probably don't, but you can. If I can, you can as well. So thank you for watching, and send me that DM. Let's go